Okay. I'm Dr. David E. Clarke, also known as Dr. Narc, as you can see. Talking to you from our bunker. Actually, this is our new studio, and we have got some work to do on it. It's a little rough. There's a couple of guys here working on this, Phil Dugas of Dugas Creative Marketing and me, and we're going to involve our wives to see if we can make it a little warmer. We're going to have a top-notch studio, but like all of us are works in progress, so is this studio a work in progress. But welcome to our webinar/live stream. This is our second webinar of 2024. We plan to do, of course, a lot more. We're looking at probably once every 2 or 3 weeks for some teaching and then, of course, some interaction. Now, our first webinar was January 24, as you recall, a couple of weeks ago, where I focused on the topic, how to keep the narc from turning your kids against you, how to prevent that from happening, because the narc's always wanting to do that. And on January 24, we launched our new online video series, From Codependent to Independent. We had a nice reaction to that. Subtitled 21 Things You Must Do Before Leaving Your Narcissist. And if you want to see an introductory video to that series, you can watch the introductory video for free. Just go to the website, davideclarkephd.com, Clarke with an E. But what happened after the last webinar and live stream was we got so many texts and emails and social media messages from moms, especially moms, who asked me this question: Dave, look, it was a helpful webinar, the live stream, but the narc has already turned the kids against me. It's a done deal. I've already lost them. So what do I do to get them back? Okay, great question. I thought, you know what? We're going to have to handle that. So I want to do two things. I decided I'm going to do two things to address this topic. One, of course, is this webinar, when you've lost your kids to the narc. And so we're going to discuss this tonight. But the second thing is a 4-part video series that I've created that shows you how to win back your kids from the narc when they're gone, whatever age. And if you're married, if you're divorced, separated, whatever, if he's already gotten the job done. And so in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how you can get this new 4-part series. It's going to be really easy to get that, but we'll get back to that. Now, I'm going to check in with some people here. Waco, Texas. Yes, my wife watches one of these home renovation shows that's based in Waco. You ladies probably know what that is. I couldn't tell you what it is. I walk out of the room when it comes on. I kiss her beautiful face and I say, you watch your show. God bless you. But yes. Thank you for all your valuable information. It is valuable. Thank you for noticing that, Cheryl. Of course it is. Most of it is. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good topic. Kara says, yeah, I think it is. Michigan. Yeah, Michigan's good. Hey, it's cold, but it's good. Talked to a lady from Michigan, I think a couple weeks ago. Yeah, on the phone. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes, great place. Fixer Upper. That's it. Fixer Upper. Yes. A lot of those shows just seem to cover the same things. Is it just me? Of course, I'm a guy. I don't know. Sandy can't get enough. She loves it. And frankly, she's remodeling our home. I put the blonde off. This is off the topic, but I put the blonde off, Sandy, for 30 years. We had 4 kids. I'm building a practice, no money. We finally get some money because, you know, when the kids leave and they finally are paying for themselves, and she has gone into overdrive remodeling our home and doing a wonderful job. But anyway, I always told her she'd get the chance to do it. Crystal River, Florida, La Grande, Oregon. Yes, spent 2 years in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. That city's fallen on some hard times, but nonetheless, yeah. Oh, here's one. Yeah, my narc died, but the damaged relationship with my children remains. Yeah, boy, I get that. Yeah. Oh, this one lady says, you literally saved my life. Boy, I'm glad to hear that. We are rescuing women from these narcs. Yes, we are, and hopefully saving lives. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Clarke. Somebody says, very good. So we've got the Instagram going too, folks joining. We've got the TikTok, and of course, we've got the Facebook and YouTube. So let me keep going, and I'll check back in with you. Okay. Now, here's how it's going to go. Just like last time, I'm going to teach a win back your children principle. I'm going to do some teaching. Okay, and then I'm going to take a break and get your feedback, because I love your feedback. Comments, questions, compliments. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again many times. It's your feedback. It's your experiences. It's your wisdom, frankly, and what you've gone through that is filling my videos and the books and the online video series that I'm doing. I mean, I know things after 40 years, of course, but It's the knowledge you're giving me. And that's why it resonates, because you're going through it, or you have been through it. Okay. And then after I do the interaction part, we talk and I get some feedback and any comments you want to make, then I'll go on to the next speaking principle. Okay. And all these principles I'm teaching tonight are all pulled from my 4-part video series on winning your kids back from the narc. Okay. Here's the first principle. All these are important. And the first principle is what we're frankly doing tonight to a degree, and that is tell your story to someone who cares. Only you know the agony. The words can't even describe how catastrophic it is when the narc turns your own children, flesh and blood, gave birth, adopted, fostered, and then adopted, whatever it is, that turns them against you. And so you don't need to go through this alone. You've got to find someone to talk to who won't give you platitudes or feel uncomfortable, but will listen to you and understand you. So it's important to talk to someone who cares about the loss of your children. Could be a family member, could be your mom, could be your dad, could be a sister, could be a friend, could be a neighbor, could be your pastor if he gets it, could be the pastor's wife. But the beginning of healing is talking about what has happened. That's part of the trauma recovery, because what you're going to have to do, in addition to the practical principles and the strategies I've got for you in winning your kids back, you've got to heal from what's been done to you. Major league trauma that the narc will continue to tap and tap and tap and hit until you've healed. So that's going to be part of it. And part of the healing is talking about it. I'd like tonight to be part of that healing. If you know someone that's been through this, you can tell a bit of their story. If you've been through it, of course, let me hear from you. Let me give you one brief story now from a social media follower of mine that she sent this to me about her children. Listen to this. I bet many of you will be able to relate to this. She says, all my children ages 4 to 17 have been turned against me by my narc ex. In this case, she's divorced, which is good. But even after divorce, they don't stop. She says, my 14-year-old daughter refuses to see me and blames every single thing wrong in the world on me. Guess who the kid got that from? That's my comment. Obviously, she's been trained that way. Everything's mom's fault. My 16-year-old will finally be civil for an hour with me, but no more than that. Awful. None of my children, listen to this, none of my children will ever say they love me or give or accept hugs or physical affection from me, except my 4-year-old. For heaven's sake, she's got the 4-year-old. But get this. However, even the 4-year-old has refused to hug me or say, I love you. Oh my goodness. If this story doesn't break your heart, then you don't have a heart. I hear from moms like this every day, Monday through Friday, actually Monday through Thursday, because I take Friday off, in my phone advice sessions. Story after story of one child, 2 children, in this case, 3, 4, all the children turned against her. And the narc's not satisfied with just 1 or 2, wants a clean sweep. So let me hear from you. Let me see what you've got to say about this in terms of your story or someone you've heard of that has lost their children to the narc. Let me see what you've got to say here. We'll check in before we move on. See what we've got going on here. Here's a husband in California, cheated 10 years in the marriage, 4 times physically, 4 different women. Oh, brother, what a wretch. Yeah. This isn't about the kids, but yeah, and of course he blames her for his adultery. Dirtball, scum of the earth. Yeah. Here's one. My daughter's 3-year-old son hits her and beats her and says, bad mommy, bad mommy. Oh, for heaven's sake. Exactly. Guess who's taught the child to do that? 3 years old. And really, any of us as parents, if we wanted to be that evil, could start a campaign to turn a child against the spouse. Well, okay, normal people would never do that. You support your spouse, but that's a situation they start awfully early. Oh, yeah. Awful. Yep, this one lady, Kimberly, X out of doctor appointments, can't go to doctor's appointment, can't go to school events, yet just squeezed out. When the mom is so critically important to the healthy development of a child, the narc doesn't care. Loves that, loves cutting you out. Yeah, Anna says her finally got their kids to turn against him at 17 after 12 years of being divorced. Yeah, man, alive. Oh, they'll work it and work it and work it. That's why we got to have a strategy to get those kids back. 22-year-old Tanya says, wants nothing to do with me. Oh, for heaven's sake. Okay, this is not a clean sweep. 20-year-old loves me. 16-year-old blocked my number, won't respond. Okay, 1 out of 3. And this lady's living this nightmare. If even one child you can stay in touch with and have a good relationship with, that is a victory. And maybe we can extend that to the other children, but of course it will take time. Because the child needs to know, even young children will understand. And that's why it takes some time sometimes for them to understand this. But if they're gonna give you a relationship and be warm to you and loving to you, they know, even small children know, they're going to get a negative reaction from their father, who's, in this case, let's say the husband's, the dad's the narc. And so they have to be prepared for that backlash, and we're going to get them ready for that backlash. Lost my son to my ex-wife narc. Yep. Wives can be narcs too, obviously. Yeah. Okay. Right. He wants to know how to keep it from happening. Yeah, boy. Well, we're going to talk about that. Yep. No communication, 22-year-old daughter. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, man. Oh, my goodness. Terrible. Yep. He cut off his sons before Christmas. Oh, yeah. Well, and the child has to be ready for the narc dad to cut them off. This can be harder for boys than girls, but girls have the same issue because they want their dad's approval and need it. So they have to be strong enough to be able to deal with the narc turning on them when they're nice to you. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's a father of the year, that classic narc. After she filed, he's father of the year, all of a sudden not caring about the kids, but he's doing all kinds of things. So far, the daughter is getting it. Very good. Yeah, boy. We'll probably resort to bribes next. You know he will. Gifts, bribes, lies, a smear campaign against you. They're going to try everything in the book to turn your kids against you. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, yeah, here's a classic, too. The narc has gotten the child, but replaced the mother with his mother. Yeah, his mommy to raise the child. Oh, for heaven's sake. That's what they do. If they've got a mom who they're messed with, and most of them do, and the mom's as crazy as he is, they'll sign the mom up to raise your child. They're not even going to do it themselves. Ridiculous. And there's enough crazy mother-in-laws out there who will do it for their daddy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dangling carrot. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Would you like a new car, Johnny or Susie? Would you like a new screen? Would you like a new iPhone? Would you like to be taken to the park? Would you, whatever, fill in the blank, all kinds of gifts, jewelry, whatever, college tuition. They don't, if they've got money, they will use it to buy your kids. And that can be very attractive to children. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 33-year-old. How do I help her? Well, I'm about to help you, Michelle. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, before my next principle, I want to make a little announcement here, and then we're going to roar into the principle number 2. And this concerns those 4 videos I talked about. We have now started a Facebook subscription service. The first time we've done this. And when you sign up for this, and the cost is quite low, here's what you get if you want to join the Facebook subscription service of Dr. David E. Clarke. Members get to see all my videos first. And I'm a content guy, as most of you know. I'm cranking out videos all the time. You're going to see them first if you're part of this subscription service. Members get exclusive content every month. All right, so these are videos and posts that only you are going to see, specific to you. Members get VIP access. You'll be the first to know about exciting announcements, things we're doing in the ministry, things we're rolling out, and special offers. We've got a lot of things lined up, discounts, giveaways. And that this 4-part video series I've just developed on this topic, when you've lost your kids to the narc, how to win them back. We're rolling this out. This is what you will get this if you join this Facebook subscription service. And we're going to have a number of series like this that I've got already planned out. And you get all this for $4.99 a month. Look, this is a steal. Not $499, which is what it's worth, but $4.99. That is a deal. We're not gouging anybody here. We're trying to help. And also, I have to fund my my blonde's renovation projects. Look, someone has to. That's me. All right. Now, to sign up, it's really easy. You just go to my Facebook page. You make sure you're following it and click on the pinned comment to join our exclusive Facebook community. That's how you do it. And you're going to get a lot of value there. So we're kind of excited about that. Something we haven't done in the 5 or 6 years we've been rolling out these videos. Okay, let's get to the second principle. And then after this, I'll check in and get more of your input. Principle number 2, do not let the narc know you are upset over the kid's rejection of you. Easier said than done, but you're going to have to bring this. Of course, you are crushed. You're devastated. You're depressed. But do not let the narc know this. That's exactly what he wants. That's the purpose of the whole operation, is to make you suffer and destroy you. Don't cry. This is nowhere near him. Don't cry. Don't share your frustration with him. Don't share your hurt with him. And don't share this with anybody who might tell him. The narc always has spies in the camp. Could be your own family. If you can't trust someone with your life, you don't share or vent any of your pain, especially about the kids, because it'll be a direct line back to him. You don't share your frustration. You don't share your hurt. You don't even share your anger. Narcs will take anger. He'd love to have you be angry. He'll feed off of that. Don't complain. Don't show the narc any emotion at all. That will just fuel what he's doing. The truth is, and you know this hopefully by now with a narc, your painful emotions thrill the narc. Thrill him. He knows he's winning. A normal person would say, boy, she's really upset. Maybe I've gone too far. And never the narc. They never think it's too far. He knows he's winning when you're upset. He knows you are suffering and in torment, and that makes his narc heart happy. He's an evil scumbag. And when he's turned the kids against you and you're upset about it, oh, makes his day, makes his week. And he'll just continue to do it all the more. Expressing your painful emotions shows the narc you're weak and you're wounded, and that's what he wants. And it shows that he's having success. Now, most normal people would never do this at all, but any kind of a decent person, once they know they've hurt someone, would back off, or maybe I've gone too far. Never the narc. The narc will love your weakness. He'll tell the kids how upset you are, and they'll have a good laugh about it. This is what's going to happen because your kids are brainwashed by the narc. We're trying to reverse that brainwash in this 4-part video series I've mentioned, and tonight to a degree. Also, don't let the narc bait you into an emotional response. Narcs are masters at baiting you into a response. He'll tell you, for example, whether it's in person, and again, don't talk to him in person or in anything but text or email, but he'll find ways to get messages to you, even through the kids. But he'll tell you about a great time he had with the kids without you to make you just miss it. He'll tell you the kids are happy without you. He'll tell you the kids don't even mention you. Maybe a lie, maybe true, but what an awful thing to communicate. They never mention you. They don't care about you. He'll tell you about what the kids are up to. Since he's, in charge of them now, he knows things that are happening in their lives when probably as they grew up, he didn't know anything. Now he knows everything. And so he'll drop little tidbits about their dating relationships, school, friends, jobs, birthday parties you're not invited to. All the things you're shut out of, he will let you know about it. He just turns the knife in your guts. The key here is to ignore, to expect him to do this, because that's what narcs do, and to ignore these attempts to get you upset. Give him no response at all. Only communicate with the dirtball, as I said, when necessary. Be brief and only use text or email. I don't care if you still live with this scum of the earth. You're not going to talk to him in person because you don't have to, and you're not going to even talk to him on the phone. No, text or email. You have to create some distance from him. Okay, let me interact more with you, and then we'll move on to the next principle. Let's see what you're saying here. Why did he dump me when I got hospitalized? Oh, good question. You know what? I've heard a lot of these stories. Your physical illness inconveniences the narc. Okay, and it will mean that he'll have to do something for you. Plus, it might mean, God forbid, it might mean that he won't be able to have sex with you whenever he wants because you're hospitalized and you're now compromised. Classic narc. If he even takes you to the hospital, he's not going to stay. He'll be angry. It's interfering with his schedule. That level of selfishness knows no bounds. And if you need, it may cost him something above the deductible. It goes on and on. It's ridiculous. That's how awful they are. Yeah, this lady's had to walk away from entire family members. Exactly. You make it clear to your support team, including your family, mother, father, uncle, aunt, siblings, I don't care who it is, that they need to, when you're living with a narc or you've left the narc and he's still in your life because you were married to him and he's fighting you with the kids, whatever the case may be, you need 100% support. And if you can get 100%, they're totally on your side, which is the right side. There's right and wrong, the Bible says. Then you drop them like a hot rock, because those are going to be the spies in the camp, and those are the ones that are going to hurt you and may say the wrong things to your kids. You cut them off from your children too, as much as you can if you have any contact with your kids. I don't care who it is. None of this, I'm not sure. He's got a side. We need to keep loving him. You know what? If you want to have a relationship with him, Mom, you go ahead. I'm done. Well, he left our child in the hospital. Yeah, same thing. They don't want a child that's got a physical problem either. Oh, for heaven's sake, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is classic. This lady had MRSA, and he was still pressuring her for sex instead of just helping me. Oh, for heaven's sake. A narc would have sex with a dead body if he had to. That's how pathetic they are. Could care less about your needs. You're just a receptacle. Nasty. Worse than nasty. It's abusive. It's sexual abuse. Julie says, what if you have zero family? Yeah, I know. Talked to a lady just the other day who doesn't have any family. Parents died early. Siblings have cut her off. It was a dysfunctional family. Okay, you're going to build a new family. They're not going to be blood relations, but you're going to have a support team, a best friend. You'll find people at church, a women's Bible study, a Celebrate Recovery group. You've got to get out there and get involved. And I tell you what God's going to do. He's going to provide a new family for you. We've had some wonderful small groups, Sandy and I, over the years. We're in a great small group right now. We love these people. We would do anything for them. If one of these dear people called me at 3 a.m. and needed some help, I'd get in my car. We'd go over there and help them. So you have to develop a new family. You can't often choose your own family. Even if you have a family, if they're not supportive, move on. Move on. Oh, here's a good question. Should I enter in a court-ordered psych evals that the GAL, these guardian ad litem, recommends for both parents and children? Oh my goodness, $20,000. Oh, for heaven's sake. You know what? I'm telling you, this is for an attorney to answer, but you do not take a psychological evaluation unless you absolutely have to. Narcs can fool them. And like you need that. Now, the only way I do it is if the narc is taking one too. You never take one, ever, unless it's court ordered. And if it's court ordered, your attorney's an idiot that only you would take one. Oh, no. I'm not a fan of these. There can be interviews taken, and there can be the GAL can make a recommendation without that. I'd be very careful. Check with your attorney. Make sure your attorney is solid and sharp and tough. But I'm leery about that. Don't like it. This lady, she's had a therapist telling her she has to get a new family. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to realize, but she's realizing it now. Yeah. Yeah, good. Angela, it's going to work out for you. God's not going to leave you alone. And of course, we have the Lord, and there's truth to the fact that you're close with God, hopefully through this terrible time of living with the narc, getting ready to leave him, leaving, divorcing, and the aftermath. But even in the Bible, that's why Bible indicates God is not going to be all that you need. You need to have human people that come alongside you, people that get it. They have to understand narcissism. They have to believe you without having to talk to the narc. I never talk to narcs. I believe the women that I talk to on the phone. They're articulate. They love the Lord. They're bright. I hear the description. Yeah, I believe you. I don't have to talk to the narc to realize that you're right. You can diagnose him. You've lived with him more than anybody else you know. Yeah, this is good. Jesus wasn't wrong when he said your biggest enemies would be those of your own household. Oh boy, isn't that the truth? Jesus goes back to his hometown. Guess what they did? Rejected him. Is this Jesus, the carpenter's son? Oh, for heaven's sake. Exactly. You find out when you're in a crisis who you can count on and who you cannot count on. Yeah, boy. Yeah, this lady's right, Jenna. You need to let go of the people that enabled him. Anyone that was nice to the narc, that enabled him, that listened to him, that wants to be his friend, that he's fooled, you're done with them. You don't vent to them, you don't say anything, you just cut them off. Yeah. Yeah, and of course the narcs are brilliant at creating their own network and taking people, and what they love to do is taking people that were close to you, even your own family, his family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and people at church, pastor, and and his wife, they will gather these people, lie to them, smear you, and get them on their side so that they turn on you. And these people are naive, they're ignorant, they don't get it, and they'll turn on you and blame you for what's happening in your marriage. He'll have them come into open court and support him as he fights you for custody. Whoa, you've got to be prepared for that. And that's why when you go through the divorce process, you've got to have the toughest, meanest attorney money can buy, because you're going to war against this person. Yeah, smear campaign. Yeah, they're brilliant at it. Yeah. And of course, what you'll find out is, we covered this last time too in the live stream, but without you even realizing it, once you have a child, everything changes. And another child, even 1, 2, 3, whatever, the narc is at work trying to win them over to his side. You don't even know it, lying to them behind your back, shading the truth, convincing them that he's better. And so when the time comes when you're ready to leave, he's got them. That's why in fact, a big part of the video series that we've just released, From Codependent to Independent, is as you get ready to leave and before you leave, a huge part of it is making sure you start turning the tide with your children and showing them the truth about their father and fighting back in a number of different ways. Every video has something about trying to get your kids to see the truth. So by the time you leave, they're going to realize, I'm with mom. I'm not with him. This is important. Now, if you've already left and you're fighting it, okay, that's what this is about. And this 4-part series I mentioned, the Facebook subscription series, okay, you can still win them back if you do the right things. It's going to take a long. Yeah, this is a good one. Perfect. Children are ammunition to the narc. Exactly. Now, he'll tell the whole world, and they'll believe him because he's a liar, but he's a wonderful liar, that he loves those kids. He only wants what's best for the children. Oh, are you kidding me? He couldn't care less about the kids. He only loves himself. They are cannon fodder. Ammunition, this lady said, exactly right. They're tools to be manipulated to destroy you, because you must be destroyed. See, he knows you know the truth about him, and so he wants to destroy you. And of course, he just likes to win. And there's going to be a divorce or a separation. He wants everybody to know, hey, it's not my fault. And if he's got the kids on his side, how can it be his fault? Their own kids hate her. They love me. They won't even talk to her. Most stupid people, and they're out there, or naive, I should say naive, ignorant people will think, oh, well, I guess so. Kids can be fooled. They're not adults. Yeah. Yeah. When I left, they favored him. 16-year-old. Yeah, this is classic. The 16-year-old was even strangled twice by him. And the 22-year-old saw one of those episodes and still sided with him. See, that's how good these narcs are. It's extraordinary. You'd never expect this. I mean, my goodness. No, they've witnessed these abusive events, but see, just like you, the kids are caught in the trauma bond too. It's hard enough for an adult to get out of the trauma bond. Children are locked in and they're drawn to the abuser. That's why it will take some time to peel them off. Yeah, incredible hypocrites. It's exactly right. Oh, narc mother and narc husband teamed up. Oh, yeah, classic. Yep. Oh, yeah. If there's any narcs in your family, give it up. They're going to side with the narc. They go with their own. Yeah. Another person that was strangled. They can abuse them physically. And I'm telling you right now, if that happens and you're aware of it, you do call the police. Absolutely. But who knows what will happen, because even the police now, you can't trust them and you can't trust the courts. You do your best. Yeah. Yeah. How do I tell my kids what's happening when it's time to tell them we're divorcing? Okay, this is part of the preparation. You don't want to spring this on the kids. It's one of the main reasons why you wait to tell them about the divorce and you wait to leave. Even if you're ready. If your children aren't ready, I wouldn't do it. Unless you have no choice and you've got to move fast. You want to prepare the kids and give them truth and show them, even over a period of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, it can make a difference. As you stand up to the narc, as you speak truth, and you model that, which you probably haven't before, and then abusive events happen, and you stand up for the truth, and then later you debrief with the children, it can start to make a difference. And you want them to at least doubt. We want them to take them from being totally on the narc side to beginning to wonder and to realize, wait a minute, maybe there's something else happening here. And they build respect for you. Yeah, there's a lot of strangling going on here. These guys, they're often physically abusive too. Of course, and I've had cases like this. It happens. You call the cops come to your home. You don't know what's going to happen. Of course, the narc's going to lie. And very likely the child's going to lie too, because he doesn't want to have a problem with dad or say my father hurt me. Unless there's clear marks, you could be in trouble. It's still the right thing to call. Oh, this is good. Caught my wife lying and cheating with my pastor. I've had cases like this. It happens. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Then he gets called controlling and a narcissist. Yeah, right. They turn it right back on you. Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. This is an ex-wife that turned the son against him. It took 2 months for him to understand his mother was lying and smearing. See, 2 months. Okay. Things were starting to happen. All right. Yeah. Hardest thing he's ever experienced. Yeah, Jason, I'm with you. It can easily be the woman who will turn your kids against you. Okay. If she's the narc. Absolutely. Let's check our time. Okay. We're doing good on time. Let's see what's going on down here on this forum here. This is TikTok. Love TikTokers. Yes, I do. Love all my social media people. Oh yeah, crosses boundaries, disrespectful of her pain, acts like nothing happened. The narc always acts like nothing happened. He will abuse you, even physical violence, emotional abuse, criticism, control, and then, it's normal for him. And so he acts like nothing happened. If you bring it up, then it's your problem. Yeah. Let me look up here. There's some folks coming on here, Instagram. All right, yeah. Okay, here's a situation. Anne says her son, 15, was oppositional big time to her. And she said, go live with your dad for 3 weeks. He finally said, okay, I like that. Yeah. Here's a situation that I cover in one of the videos in the Facebook subscription service. But if you've got a child, a teenage child especially, who is just hating your guts, doesn't want to be with you, wants to live with dad and just makes your life a living hell, what Anne has done is the exact right thing to do. Okay, not the first thing you do, but if you don't see any change happening and you've got a disrespectful, abusive child, okay, totally in the thrall of the narc, okay, then you say, okay, go live with your father. Okay, and that removes you from the equation. See, they're both fighting you, and you don't want to fight that directly. You'll lose. The narc loves the fact that the son is hating your guts. Go live with your father. The father pretty much has to say yes. If the father says no, the light might dawn in your son's head. Why doesn't dad want me? But if he says yes, okay, he goes to live and you're out of the equation. There'll be some trouble in paradise. I guarantee you, because that narc will begin to abuse that child and the kid will start to see without you in the way and him hating you because you're gone, you're out. Maybe the light will begin to dawn. There's cases where that can work. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here's the silent treatment. Oh, yeah, it's punishment. Lucy wants to know why they do it. The silent treatment is control. It is to make you suffer for something you've done or said, and it's a massive use of control and to make you suffer. And also, it's justification for whatever sin they want to be involved in. Serves all those purposes. Normal people don't do that. This is days. This is weeks. They can go for months of just torturing you. And then what happens? Like the other lady that said, when they're done with the silent treatment, it's like a light switch, and they're back on and they act like nothing has happened. Bizarro world. No, you leave a person like that. It's not normal, and they're not going to change. Jackie said, I love the name Jackie. One of my granddaughters' name is Jackie. He's turned both against me, both kids against me. I just leave it alone, wait and pray. Well, Jackie, there's more that you can do. We're covering some of the things tonight, but in these 4 Facebook subscription videos, there are specific tools that are going to make a huge difference in turning your children back. And I also believe that the online video series from codependent to independent will make a huge difference in winning your kids back. There's strategy after strategy after strategy that can make it. You're going to be active. Certainly there's some waiting involved, and certainly you're going to pray, but that's not good enough. You need to do things differently. And that's why I've got the plans for you. Don't have Facebook. Tanya doesn't have Facebook. Well, Tanya, you can change that. If there's ever a great reason to have Facebook, I'm trying to think of one. It is to be part of my subscription follower. Okay, I'm just saying, join it for me. I do Facebook for business and for ministry reasons, not so much personal stuff. It serves a purpose. Jesus can use it, of course, to reach people. And that's what we're doing. Daughter's turned against her. I know. Yeah. Here's a good point. Yeah, the abuse starts with you, with of course, the spouse, and then they'll move to their own child once they can't abuse you. Exactly. When you're out of the equation, you're not tolerating the abuse, you're not responding to it, then, and this is bad news, but it's also good news in the long run, they'll start to abuse your child because they're narcs. They can't help themselves. They have to abuse somebody close to them. And then the kid will begin to realize, oh, what mom says is true. And then we start a process, and it'll be secret. Kids are, especially if they're teenagers, they can reach you. They'll find a way to reach you digitally, okay, and hide it from the narc dad, and you'll begin a secret process of winning their hearts and minds back. You'll help them to deal with the narc, help them to manage him, and also get them back. Okay, let's move on here. I'm going to move on to the third principle tonight, and then I'll take some more of your questions and comments. And thank you. Keep them coming. This is good stuff. It's great stuff. Yes. All right. What's this here? The this lady just shared this live. Encourage more viewers to share. Yes, share this. People need to hear this. Here in my bunker, as you see, our new studio, which we're going to improve. Okay. Third principle. Show your kids your new happy life. Vitally important. You're broken up. You're devastated. You cannot show that to your children. Can't do that either. Why? Because their job is to get the approval of the narc for rejecting you. So you cannot give them that. You give them just the opposite. And if you have to fake it and take an acting class, then that's what you do. Be happy, joyful, peaceful in your new life without the narc, and let the kids see it. Whether you're living with them, certainly if you're separate or divorced, they need to see mom enjoying her life. That's the last thing the narc wants, and it's the last thing the kids want, because that's not what their job is. You had to be made to be miserable for all the mistakes you've made in their dumb heads. And you show that you talk about little tidbits here, my job, my friends, my social life, my community involvement, my exercise program, my family, those that are on your side, parents, siblings, your church, your Bible study, your women's group, your relationship with Jesus. Absolutely. You are showing them my life is moving forward. If you chase and you pursue and you beg and you act all upset, you're never going to get those kids back, ever. That feeds the monster. Now, this won't work overnight, but it's one of the ways to begin to draw them back, because they're going to find out sooner or later that the narc is never happy. He's upset. He goes hot and cold. He'll turn on them, and we want them to see that. And we look over at mom, and mom seems to be doing pretty well. Dad said she was crazy. She doesn't seem crazy. Dad said she was unstable. I'm not picking that out. Dad said she's always unhappy and miserable and depressed. No, I'm not seeing that in my contact with mom and on her social media. And your kids will find your social media. They're masters. They'll start to see the dissonance. Doesn't make any sense. Dad is not telling me the truth. Okay. And what I like to do, especially if you're separated, every couple of weeks or so, you send your child, the child that's rejected you, cut you off. You send your child, if you have a way to reach them, this is a one-way thing, you don't expect any response. Email, text, social media, whatever works, a brief spiritual message, and you just send it and you don't ask for a response. This is if you can find some way to contact them. And it's very brief. As brief as, I prayed for you today, Bobby. I prayed for you, Susie. Done. I read this verse in my devotional this morning, and you give the reference. That's it. Jesus gave me this insight today, and I was walking, and something happened, and it was a Jesus moment. You just drop it in. You're not going to get a response, or you might get, stop sending me stuff, but it has an impact. In every interaction you have with your children, whatever you're allowed to have with them, whatever they will allow, whether it's text or email, FaceTime, actually in person, you let them see that you're happy, that you're doing well. You're moving on with your new life. Now, there'll be times when, of course, in the quietness of your home or at your job, it will get to you. You'll cry. It's awful. It's devastating. You share that with someone who cares, who you can trust. Don't do that with your children. That will do just the opposite of what you expect. The child won't say, oh, mom feels bad, and she's crying over my rejection of her, I think I'll stop doing that. No, far from it. See, they're already gone. They're already in his clutches. He's brainwashed them. They'll be happy that you're upset. That's the twisted world we're living in now. We're trying to change that and bring them back to normal. Don't show them any of that. You've got social media like this. Tanya needs Tanya needs to get Facebook. You get some social media going. This is how kids operate in this world. And the narc's going to let them do all the social media in the world. You get your social media accounts. Kids are curious. You're still their mom or you're their dad. You get some key social media sites going on, and you post what looks like a life that's happy and that's moving in the right direction. Again, here's the point. Since the point of your kid's rejection of you and abuse of you, frankly, is to make you miserable, when you're not miserable but happy, their campaign falls flat. It's not working. And that's what we want. Check our time. We're doing good. So what you're showing by showing them a happy life and a life that's working and that you're walking with the Lord is that you are stable. You're not crazy like the narc says. You're happy. You're not resentful. You're not bitter like the narc is saying. You're going to counter all the lies. You're not competing with the narc to win them over. You're not going to compete at all. If they want to be with you, if they want to spend time with you, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. Their choice. See, the narc's going to be controlling in time of them. You're not going to do that. And that'll make you look good. And you're going to be in a close relationship with God. And you're going to be at peace in your life. As compared to the narc. And you know this if you have kids. Kids don't miss anything. They are not dense. They pick up even from a very young age. Little Chloe, we call her Clo Dugas. He's 1 year old, little over 1. She doesn't miss anything. I am telling you right now. She scans the room. You can't put anything by her. If somebody's upset, if somebody says something a little loud, she reacts. And so your kids are not going to miss it. And so they'll see your life and they'll see the narc's life. They will not miss this. It'll take a while for it to register. But the narc's going to show them that he is unstable. He's crazy. He's the one that's never truly happy. He's resentful of you and others. He is competing with you to win them over. He's never at peace. A narc is never truly at peace because nothing ever works. The first time Susie brings home a homework assignment and they're living with him and they've cut you off and it's a D or it's a C or it's a B and he bites their head off when before he wasn't even involved in their homework and he never helps them with it, the light will begin to dawn. Oh, my dad's a jerk. He's hard on me. I can't please him. Exactly. Now, they'll try for a while to please him. It won't work. And then we can see the train start to turn around. And of course, he's never at peace. And he's in a close relationship with himself, not God. God's got nothing to do with it. And kids can pick up a hypocrite a mile away, especially when you've removed yourself from the process and you're not fighting it. They'll be able to pick it up. And their father is the chief of hypocrites. They'll see him at church. They'll see him in the neighborhood. And they'll see what he's like at home. All right? And eventually they'll begin to figure it out. So you're going to have to let your kids go, as hard as that is. And you don't let the narc drag you into drama with the kids over and over again. The way I mentioned before, him baiting you. With you out of the way, they can start to see the truth. And so the message you send to your kids without saying these words is, do you want to join me in my happy, peaceful new life? That over and over. Would you like to join me? Would you like to join me? And initially you'll say, look, I will never prevent you from having a relationship with your father. I've told you that he's abusive and I left him for that reason and I divorced him. No apology for that. But he's your father. What I'm asking for is a separate relationship with you where you respect me, where we love each other, where we spend time, where there are boundaries, where I teach you about Jesus. We're gonna have this kind of a separate relationship. When you're with your father, if you choose to be, hey, it's his rules. You do whatever you want. So we're looking for this parallel operation at first, but in time, and who you are and away from him. And that's exactly what we want. Okay, let me interact here again as we go into the final segment here. See what you're doing. God bless you, Jason says, David. Thank you, Jason, for, yes, God has blessed me. Oh my goodness. In so many ways. Yes, and I hope this is helping. Yes. I keep showing my son positive reactions. Charlotte says, even though I'm heartbroken over his dad's recent brainwashing over him. Good. That's the right thing. You continue to love your children. You don't get angry with them or have a fit or show them the reactions. Like I said, you keep loving on them the best way you can, and you don't react to their rejection. Other than, now, if they treat you with disrespect and they're abusive, you call that out. Absolutely, you not mean. That's abusive. That's uncalled for. That's out of line. This conversation is over, but you continue to love on them and send them positive messages. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the kids are now with the narc, Rhonda says, and my son's grades have gone from A's and B's to D's, and he can't do sports because of his grades. Oh, my goodness. See, this kid needs to figure it out. He wants to play sports. He can't because the grades are down. Guess who the narc's going to blame? Can't blame you anymore. The kid doesn't live with you. He'll try it. It's like blaming Trump for everything or blaming Biden for everything. Hey, you know what? No. Own it. The kid's going to figure out, oh, dad's not the greatest parent in the world. His life is suffering. Exactly. And you're letting that happen. Yes. Carries divorce for 3 months. Oh, he protects his public image in our small community. Oh, you know he does. Yeah, God's gift to church. He's on the worship team. Oh, he's got to be. St. Francis of Assisi. I know. Yeah, takes mission trips. Of course. People love him. Oh, yeah, I know. You know what? And she's pretty certain he's cheated. Almost certainly. She has no proof. Yeah, she's devastated and she's alone. Carrie, that's what these groups are for. If people reach out to you, you need people that understand and that will, and God will, of course, bind up your wounds too, but it's tough. It's tough when the narc looks like he's winning and the whole community loves him. Mr. Singing in the choir and going on missions trips. Oh, for heaven's sake. Awful. I tell you what, the story's not told yet. And over time, you're going to heal from what's happened. You're going to build your own support team, your own new family. It'll be a different church you're involved, people that will believe you, and you won't talk much about them because you won't care. You'll start a fresh new life. You have to hang on and you have to do some healing to get there, but you can do that. I'm going to recommend a book I wrote for this dear person. If you've been divorced from a narc, I didn't want a divorce. Now what? That's the book for you. It's healing. It's recovery. It'll be good for you. Absolutely. That's why I wrote it. And it takes some time to heal. Absolutely it does. Yeah, people love him. Oh, yeah. How do you get your kids not to end up like the narcissistic dad? Oh, boy, is that a question? And that's a great question. That's exactly what we're doing here with these materials. My video series from codependent to independent, it is not just about you getting strong enough to leave the narc. It is. It's also preparing your kids to leave with you and to understand the truth about their dad. Because when they understand the truth and they have respect for you and you have a relationship with, that's how they don't become like him. So all this is really geared for that very issue. The last thing on earth we want is for your children to be like the narc and to become like him. And when you see that happening, it's awful. I'm telling you, you can turn the tide. You can pull them back. Some of you have adult children who have cut you off. Okay, I have a whole book for that. I think it fell to the floor, but I'll just tell you what it is. It's adult children who break your heart. You'll see it on the website. This book is going to be just for you. This material and what you'll find in the Facebook videos. Oh, Phil Dugas of Dugas Creative has come through again. Dugas Creative Marketing. Adult children who break your heart. If you have an adult that's 18 and up who's turned his back on you or she has rejected you, that's the book for you. A series of steps. It's a different approach with an adult. If they're under 18, that's what this webinar is about. And what frankly, from codependent to independent, that series is about, and the Facebook videos. Yeah. Heartbreaking last 3 years since the divorce. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here's a question. I've observed that in many examples, you reference men more frequently as narcissists compared to women. Oh, yes, I do. You've noticed that. And frankly, that's my ministry, is to women more than men. Does this suggest that a larger proportion of narcissists are men? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, in my experience. And now this is changing somewhat because there are plenty of female narcs, but it probably runs 85, 15, something like that. Yeah, so I think there are more men. But my ministry is, and it's a good question, is focused on helping women. That's what I do. That's my lane. If you can, if that is a problem and you can't kind of, because my principles apply to female narcs as well. It doesn't make any difference. But I don't go back and forth. It's just not my style. If you can find someone who talks about female narcs more often, then do that. I just don't do it. And God is just giving me this lane. I talk to some men, but not that many. And so, okay, that's where we're going. God has made that decision, not me. All right. Oh, here's an ex that's rich now and can buy the kids, and he did. Melanie, I know. And in many cases, not all, but after a divorce, you're surviving, God's taking care of you, but you don't have extra money, and the narc has more money than you because he used the court system against you, or just has more money anyway, has a better paying job. Yeah, he'll buy the kids. And part of my strategy is, and you'll see this in the videos, in the Facebook videos, where you will let the kids know that's what's happening in subtle ways. Kids can be bought temporarily. And so you're going to have ways of teaching them that's not healthy for them. It's not an easy sell, but you can do it. I was told you cannot do EMDR if you're still being traumatized. I guess it depends on the therapist. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Now, the timing of EMDR and these rapid therapies is very important. And I'm not in favor, if you're still living with the narc or going through a separation or divorce process, that is not the time for EMDR. No. You're not going to do deep trauma work because that's going to make you weak and vulnerable, and you can't spin that plate. The only plate you can spin is getting tough, getting righteously angry, going through the steps of getting rid of him and saving your kids. That's it. After the divorce, okay, that's a different story. Then you're gonna do, there's all kinds of therapies that can help you, and you'll see some of those in, of course, I didn't want a divorce. Now, I'm more old school, going to take longer. I don't believe in rapid therapeutic techniques because I don't think they work. That's not how God made us. Now, EMDR and those kind of therapies can be helpful as an adjunct to really hard therapeutic work, but I wouldn't do that until you're ready to do it. Otherwise, it'll just mess you up. You can't spin that plate. Serious, deep therapy puts you at risk when you're still fighting a war. All you can do is the war. Let me look up here, see what's going on. Yeah, people are joining up there, but I can't see the comments. Okay. Yeah, I told her God can help her. She refused to see that. Yeah, well, yeah. When a parent overcompensates to make up for the narc, does this create another narc? Well, not necessarily, but there's spoiling and then there's a narc. You want to be very careful about this. It's easy to do. You know that the narc abused them and traumatized them, and so to overcompensate, or maybe in some way to make up for what he did or compete with the narc, you can give them too many things. That's never a good idea for a child. I'm a big believer. Love is always unconditional. Love you, spend time with you. It's the things that don't cost that mean the most to a child. Still, praise, spiritual connections, time, building that connection with them, memories, much more important than even a nice meal rather than just buying stuff. So you'll have to make that very clear. I'm not going to buy you, and everything has to be earned. All right. You'll see that if you want a good basic parenting book, you'll be shocked to know that I've written one. Parenting is Hard and Then You Die, published by Focus on the Family. But those are some basic principles there. You don't want to spoil your children. And you can be honest with the child, even smaller kids, 6, 7, 8 on up, when they can understand what's going on. You can say, look, your dad really hurt you, and I think I've been giving you too many things to make up for that, and that's going to have to stop. You'll be honest with your child. You don't want to go too far. Yeah. In this case, Christy's case, the narc spends hardly any time with his kids. Yeah, there are some narcs too selfish even to do it. Yeah. Since she kicked him out, he doesn't even try to see them. Yeah. Actually, Christy, that's an advantage. I think you know that. Praise God for that. So many more narcs end up trying to be father of the year and try to turn them against you by spending all kinds of time all of a sudden, buying them things, showing up with their games before they didn't care. So let's take this to the bank. If you've got a narc who's ignoring the kids, now that hurts the kids, but they're far better off. Because what we want is them to spend less time with their father, if he's the narc, and have less connection with him and get emotional distance from him. Absolutely. That's going to happen over time organically, but yeah, it's a good situation. We don't fight that. In fact, you don't say, well, don't tell the narc, I think you need to spend more time with the kids. Don't let that come out of your mouth. That's the last thing you want. And don't encourage the kids to see their father. He is a dirt ball who's hurting them. Oh, no. If he's ignoring them, fine. We don't touch that. We don't go near it. Don't poke the alligator. Yeah, and this is the single mom thing. Ann says it's true. She overcompensated. She admits it because of dad rejecting the kids. I was mom and dad. Oh, boy. She says that was exhausting. Absolutely, it's exhausting when you're both mom and dad. Look, and don't be hard on yourself. Nobody's perfect. All right? Now, my dear mother's in heaven now, Kathleen Clarke, and so is my dad. And they're together. But I'm the baby of the family. If you haven't noticed, I'm a baby. I'm spontaneous. I say what I think. My mother spoiled me. Ask the blonde. Sandy will tell you. Oh, terrible spoiling. And so I expected her to spoil me too when I married her, but she's a hard woman. She's tough, and it hasn't worked that way. So I'm living proof you can get out of being spoiled and you don't have to turn into a narc. So it's okay to admit to your children, a mistake here. I was too harsh here. You'll even tell your kids as you start pulling them away from the narc, things like, you know what? I didn't speak up when I should have when your dad was abusing me. I didn't protect you the way I should. Look, whatever the truth is, children respond to the truth because it's integrity, it's respect, it's honest. And that's how you start to win them back. You'll admit all kinds of mistakes and you'll let your kids know too. One of the strategies, look, if you've got issues with me, legitimate issues, mistakes you think I made, ways that I hurt you as we were living with your father, I want to hear it. Talk to me, not disrespectfully, but let me hear. And if it's legit, you'll say, you're right. I got no excuse. I'm sorry. Would you forgive me? Let's work this out. That's okay as parents. There were times I was raising Emily, Leanne, Nancy, and William, and I made mistakes. You end up spanking the wrong kid. It's usually that kid's fault or something like that, or just being too harsh or not spending enough time. Hopefully I would admit that to them. Sweetie, Dad was wrong. I made a mistake. Kids respond to that because it's real. And they'll also realize the narc never does that. You will never hear a narc say, I'm sorry for anything, because the man never makes mistakes. And that'll also show them a difference. As you start to win them back, you're going to admit, I did make mistakes. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a while to get to indifference. I know it does. It's not overnight. Not overnight. And there's times when the narc will get to you, he'll bait you, you'll respond. It's not the end of the world, okay? You'll yell at one of your kids because they're rejecting you and you're angry. You just apologize, ask for forgiveness, and move on. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here's a soon-to-be ex-narc telling people I abandoned him. Yeah. Can he gain any legal traction by saying this? No. No. Because the reason is, and he mentions this, it's emotional abuse. With the right attorney, even if you leave your home, you're not abandoning the home. Oh, no. You'll have documented incidents of physical and or emotional abuse. You're saving yourself and your kids. That is not abandonment. Now, it depends on the state, but no. You're going to fight back hard against that. It's a great narrative for the narc. She's abandoned me. What a joke. I left you, dirtball, because he was abusing me and destroying me. You'll say that in open court. That's the reason. Why would I leave my home otherwise? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. It's important I'm getting the right attorney, though. Yeah, looking at some of these things. I didn't have a good attorney. She didn't fight for me at all. I've heard that a million times. The panty-waist, wimpy, Weemus attorney might be a Christian, might not be. They're gutless wonders. They'll take your money and they'll do nothing for you. And you lose and the narc wins. Absolutely wrong. Okay, we're almost done. One more time, a little bit of promotion here. Somebody has to pay for the blonde's remodeling. But these things are going to help you. Two things. From Codependent to Independent, my new online video series. Go to the website, daviddclarkephd.com, Clarke with an E. Really going to help you win your kids back. Really going to help you get strong enough and deal with the abuse and get away from the narc. And then this Facebook subscription service, I think you're going to love it. It's only $4.99 a month. You're going to get these new Facebook videos on winning your kids back from the narc and a whole bunch of others we've got lined up for just you. Go to my Facebook page, follow it. You're going to have to join Facebook. I'm sorry. Click on the pinned comment to join our exclusive Facebook community. I think you're going to love it. So until the next live stream, be 2 or 3 weeks from now, this is Dr. David E. Clarke signing off. Thanks so much for joining us, and we appreciate all your comments.